Hey guys, I was asked to make sure everybody's on the same page about our policies on a couple of things because we've had some instances lately where it seems like there's a lot of gray area and a lot of people are confused about some of our policies on things with the job. So I'm going to go over those. First up is calling out. Keep in mind, I'm not talking about things like being sick, like being really sick, or you have a death in the family. Things like that are not what we're talking about. Those are emergency issues. We're talking about non-emergencies. Okay, let me give you a situation. If you're scheduled to work, but your friend asks you to go have lunch on that day, all right, yes, you don't know that there's games going to be booked yet, but don't schedule that lunch with that friend, okay? Because if you do, if that game books during that time that's conflicting, you're going to be asking us to not work and to cover your shift. And that's just not the way it works, unfortunately. Okay? You're scheduled, you're expected to work the whole shift, period. Okay? Only 1% of the time is there circumstances that will allow that to change. Okay? If you have a death in the family, okay, obviously you got to deal with that. All right? If you are sick, okay, if you're so sick that you can't work, then you're so sick that I need to know you're better before you can come back, which means I need a doctor's note from your doctor saying that you are okay to work. Because right now, when we're in the busy holiday season and we just barely have enough staff, the last thing we need is for you to be here sick and get 3 other people sick, and then all of a sudden we've got 4 people sick who can't work. Okay, we can handle one person being sick and calling out, but if you're sick that you can't work, then you got to bring me a doctor's note to show me that you're okay to work, because I don't want to get sick and nobody else here does either. So if you're calling out, okay, within 24 hours of the shift, all right, you have to call me. You have to call me on the phone, not a text message, not a Slack message. You need to call me. If I don't answer, leave a voicemail, and then you can follow it up with a text message. Okay? Don't Slack me. All right? That's a call first, text second, Slack third thing. All right? And you need to be prepared for the response of, I'm sorry, but we don't have anybody that can cover that shift. You're going to have to work the shift. You need to be prepared for that response. Okay? And depending on the situation, okay, I may state even further that you have no choice but to work the shift. Okay, I feel like we're very fair and lenient on deciding that or not. Okay, but if you call me and tell me you want to be off a shift because you want to have lunch with a friend, I'm going to say no. All right, and if you then decide to not work that day, it is treated as a no call, no show. Period. Okay. Even though we know where you are, it doesn't matter. All right, and no call, no shows are a fireable offense, and they will be treated as that. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, you need to communicate everything with us way ahead of time. All right, it's just the right thing to do. All right, and you also need to be prepared for no as the answer. All right, if you're scheduled, you're gonna work. Just think that way. That way, you're never disappointed. Okay, that way, when we can get the shift covered for you, you're relieved and you're amazed. Okay. Second, I just wanted to retouch on no call, no show. This is no different than any other job, guys. If you no call, no show, you're most likely going to be let go. Okay, you need to have been kidnapped or something like that. Okay, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. Okay, there needs to be a legitimate reason why you could not tell us that you're not going to be at work. So if you're going to have a situation where you're not going to be showing up in the next hour for work, for a long day of work, you need to make an effort to tell us, because if it comes time for you to be here and you're not here and we haven't heard anything, it's a no call, no show. Okay? And it is as simple as that. Some things, just basic things. Whenever you're going through major changes, availability changes, major time off, we need a major heads up. It's just the right thing to do. Okay? It's just considered, proper etiquette to let your workplace know that, hey, I have 2-week vacation that I want to go on, When I have to do things like that, I have to tell my bosses months ahead. Okay, and most of you have done that, but there's been some instances where it's been way too late notice. Austin was gone for 2 weeks. Okay, he went on vacation for 2 weeks, but he told me that back in like January or February. All right, so I knew that it was coming. All right, that's even way overdoing it. He told me way before I would even need to know. But it was nice that he told me then. It gave me almost a whole year to plan for that date for him to be gone. Okay? I'm not saying you have to give me 12 months heads up. I'm just saying, if you're going to be going from available 7 days a week to 2 days a week, all right, that's the equivalent of us losing an employee. So we need to know that at minimum 2 weeks ahead of time, if not 3 or 4 if you can. Okay? It just helps us out a lot, and it's the right thing to do. All right? Policy on giving up shifts. I'll try to speed through these things. I'm sorry it's just taking so long. If you're giving up a shift, okay, you have to do it before 48 hours of the shift. All right? After it's within 48 hours of the shift, it's no go anymore, and it's considered you're trying to call off the shift, and you need to be calling me first. Okay? So if it's within 2 days of the shift and you try to put it for grabs, I'm going to delete it. Okay? Because that's just the way I want to run things, because I have a lot of other things going on, and if you're trying to do that late notice, that adds a big project that I need to try to get done, which is to get your shift covered. So we don't have a problem with you giving up shifts and offering them up. We love that, and we want you to use 7 shifts to do that. But once we get within 2 days of the shift, all right, it's solidified. Okay. You can't give it up to go to a movie or things like that. It's just not the way we're going to run it. Last things, if you have questions about blocking games, you need to think through a few things before you ask. All right. If you're asking me to block a game, all right, 1,000% it's going to be a no. That's what you need to anticipate, that it's going to be no every single time. All right, because again, I don't schedule you outside your availability, so you should be available to work anytime, okay? And if I've made a mistake on the schedule, I will fix it, okay? But if you're available and I'm scheduling you, you're anticipated to work, and we won't be blocking any games. Surely not right now, because we're in a busy season. The only games we're getting blocked are the few here and there that we have to condense just because of lack of availability here or there. So please get in the habit of not asking for games to be blocked. Okay? If you're asking for a game to be blocked, you might as well just try to give up the whole shift. Okay? And certainly don't ask on the day of. Okay? If you're here working for a game, if you're here working on a game right now, and you come and ask, hey, can you block my last game or my last 2 games? All right? The answer is no, and I'm going to be calling you asking why you're asking that question. All right? Because we should all know better than to not ask that, okay? The only person that blocks games in those situations is myself, all right? You can ask Jenna and Travis. They're going to come to me for approval. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to my bosses for approval on those things, okay? So that's how serious it is, all right? So please, please, please help us with all those things. You will never be in trouble for asking to clarify on anything, guys. So please feel free to ask me questions. If this video did not make sense on what you should or shouldn't do as far as giving up shifts and calling out, you need to get a hold of me ASAP, all right? Because the chances is everybody's going to call out at some point in their life. It happens. I've done it. Everybody does it. It's not the end of the world. There's just a process that has to be followed with it so that everybody has the best chance to make it go smoothly, okay? And not just you by getting off the shift, all right? So please ask questions if you don't know, because from this point on, I expect everybody to understand and to be on the same page. So thank you, and get ready because it's already getting busy. If you haven't noticed, tomorrow is starting to book up really heavy, and the weekend will book up really quickly just like that. So be prepared, guys. Thanks, and we'll see you this week.